Greetings, flesh creatures. It is I, Megatron. On behalf of TFYLP, I want to congratulate you for listening to the most refined collective podcast on this miserable little planet Earth. Yes. Here you'll find knowledgeable fans discussing every aspect of Transformers and beyond. Now, enjoy the show while I continue my path to complete conquest of all of you miserable biological entities. Predacons, terrorize!
Hello, welcome to TFYLP, episode 432. We are live tonight, Monday, May 24th. So I apologize for starting a little bit late tonight. One of our cast members is having some technical difficulties, so hopefully he can eventually join us. But tonight, I am joined by Phil.
Evening.
And Peter.
Forever Destron.
Yep. So we've got our like huge vertical panes, here. So hopefully we can eventually go into the fort. Yeah, it was Paul's fault. So I was trying not to call him out, Zaldron, but it's okay.
I already did.
So, yes, Catherine says, make sure and hit the like button and subscribe if you like our content here.
We contemplated doing the episode with Paul frozen in the corner and just decided not to at the last minute.
So, yeah. Well, and he even has a relatively new computer too, so I don't know what's up with that. So, yeah. I don't know. But anyway, tonight we are talking about Fan First Friday, and our show will probably be longer than the actual stream. But I don't know. I always enjoy talking new toys. So we can talk about the things we already knew about before that they revealed. So
do we want to talk at all about another re-release of the movie?
Yeah,
yes.
So
Okay.
What's funny is earlier today I was talking to Peter before the show, and we're like, hey, he's still going to be on. And I was like, oh, yeah, did you order your Shop Factory, Blu-ray? And he's or 4K, whatever it is. And he's like, no, what are you talking about? So
completely, yeah. I missed the stream on Friday. I've been working. Things have been crazy, like super crazy in every aspect of my life. So I missed the stream. Had to catch up later. Missed the pre-order windows on everything. I had to be reminded about the Steelbook. It's been busy. Hello, Kitty. Yeah. So I was happy that Lucas reminded me.
So yeah, not a problem. I'm glad that it was still available. So hopefully, I don't know how limited those lithograph prints are. So we'll see. Oh. But I mean, I think it's neat. Like, I think it's neat that they're going back and redoing it. It sounds like that they're, putting a little bit of work into it.
I do think one of the funniest things I heard in the stream on Friday was when they were talking about the coloring of these toys, and they're like, well, which version of the movie are we using? Are we using the old version where the coloring is a little oversaturated versus the new version where the coloring is like super bright and crisp? And they had to kind of figure that out because it was, with some of these toys, it's fairly distinct difference between the two versions.
Well, it's like Rodimus, right? Where he's pink essentially, and everyone's like, I want my pink hot rod.
Pink rod for me. Yeah. That just gives them more avenues to release everything in exclusive avenues. Did I already say avenues? Yep. So yeah, they can do SDCC and New York Comic Con and Pulse stuff and things overseas, and then multi-packs and repacks. Just bring back Platinum Series. Just redo it 400 times for all those varying shades of Cup and Hot Rod that we have in our lives and in our memories.
Yeah. Just gray Cup was. I remember when Takara showed their Legends Gray Cup, and everyone's like, what? It's like, that's how he looked in the movie, man. I'm like, but did he? And, yeah, I guess he did, but it's still just, didn't seem right.
Well, and I've still had that debate, like on the new cup that just came out, because a lot of people hate the face on it, and like it's not fantastic. But I was like, I can find some cells that look kind of like that face, like in 3 dimensions or whatever. And Blur, on the other hand, I'm not sure I can, but
No, that someone gave Blur Jay Leno's chin.
So, but yeah, no, I don't know. I think it's exciting. Like I always enjoy getting new copies of the movie. It's always a classic. It's always on, at least playing it once or twice a year at least, if not more.
Not weekly?
Or weekly, sure.
I mean, there's a standard. You have to meet it, right? To be on the show, to host. I mean, come on, man.
Isn't that what you do in like your prep for each episode? Is just you don't have to necessarily watch it, but like at least have it in the AirPods as you're getting everything set up.
Well, yeah, I mean, obviously the soundtrack,
Yeah.
Not necessarily the movie itself, but I got a lot of catching up. Peter's trying to send me the some of the English dubs of some of the headmasters and whatnot. So
yes. Don't forget to remind me that before we go to the show. I know it's like we've been working on this for 2.5 years now, but this will happen. This will happen.
Every time, like right before the show, I'm like, oh yeah, like it'd be cool to actually to see that stuff. So, but
I've seen some of it. It's kind of painful.
It's more than kinda.
Yeah. Yeah. It's,
So yeah, I don't know if we want to go ahead and start talking about the toy reveals. I guess I'll share some of the web stuff here. So I mean, one of the things I thought was neat too is they redid some of the artwork for the packaging too, which was pretty cool.
Yeah, that was neat. I don't know if I needed that to be part of the live streams, like just get me the toys. But the artwork itself does look good.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think it probably went on a little bit too long, but we know all about that on this show.
Yeah, but we're not professionals. Those folks are.
Are they?
They're professionals at something.
No, right. Yeah, I shouldn't say, like presenting panels online, like is they're probably relatively new at that.
Yeah, you could tell the marketing guy was like reading from a teleprompter script in front of him at several points during it.
Right.
But I still like that better than the Marvel Legends marketing guy, where the Marvel Legends marketing guy is just like some 35-year-old dude talking in all kind of hip hop slang, and I'm just like, no, man, you're too old. Stop this. Stop this act.
Yeah, see, that's the thing is I actually kind of like having the toy designers on there presenting this stuff, just because you can tell that they're passionate about it, and so it's really neat that they can actually show all of the fans like what what they designed and all that. Like it's kind of a neat feeling, I'm sure.
Yeah, almost any time when you have one of these things, it's just like 90-10 rule is what I'd say. 90% let the designer talk, 10% have the marketing dudes talk.
Right. So I am now currently on screen showing off Slag Slug, whatever his name is. I think he's officially Slug now, right?
He's officially Slug now again.
Yeah.
Again, still.
And I think there was already like video reviews of this guy up before they revealed him, but it's really neat to see him in an official capacity.
He looks great.
Yeah, no,
Oh, man.
it is a great looking toy. I did find it interesting when they were describing him. They're like, oh, instead of the Power of the Primes toy, where it's the toy colored with the black head, he's got the red head, and it's like, well, you were really close to saying he had blackface back in the day, didn't you? And it's just like that would have been. It's like when you think about it, it's like, is that? Wait, which part is his head and which part of his face, and is the Triceratops part of it? Because the toy, the Triceratops head is part of his head, and the black part is just his face. But it was like, oh, they stepped around that, and it's probably for the best. But I'm sure they like had one or two versions of this where they said, oh, Slug's blackface, and it was like, oh, yeah, that probably we probably don't want to say that.
Yeah, probably would be great. So the question on these Dinobots: have we actually gotten a masterpiece version that's more of a cartoon aesthetic? Like
Fans Toys
hasn't
had the
done
option. Yeah, they have the option to swap out the face, the lower face, the head, upper head, and then I think I want to say, was it Gigapower? Their Grassor figure. You could do the same thing. I think. Someone correct me in the comments. You could do some head swapping, face swapping chunks. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, we've got some really great third-party Dinobots, that's for sure.
Oh, 100%. But my question is like, are they more animation or tune or toy accurate, or were they kind of in the middle? Because I know like a lot of the era of these figures, it was kind of like that masterpiece era was kind of like, a combination of the toy and the tune, whereas like nowadays it's all, just straight tune accurate. What I'm getting at is I know Anna the other day was talking about that she's like, oh, finally animation accurate Dinobots, and I was like, oh, I didn't even think about that, but I mean, they look really good.
I mean, I think the third-party ones, and I'll be honest, I don't own them myself, but from what I've seen, they slightly skew more toy aesthetic, not so much from the coloring, but just from certainly the glossiness to them, the shininess, the chromeness to them. Whereas
the heft, the build, the scale,
yes,
they fit in that cast shot like they would in the cartoon, but they do have a toyetic aesthetic. And Fans Toys, hi Kitty. Fans Toys did release like more, they had like the super shiny versions and then the kind of toned down versions or whatever for their Dinobots.
Right. I mean, honestly, third party's done a fantastic job with all the Dinobots. I think I've owned most of them in one iteration or another. I feel like it's almost hard to do a bad job with the Dinobots. So, but this is a great. I mean, as far as mainline is concerned, I mean, we've never had anything that's approached this.
No,
I think the go ahead.
Yeah, the Combiner Volcanicus set was just like, it was like, I'm finally gonna sell my Volcanicus set, and the only reason I've kept it is because we didn't, unless you got by the third party, like what else is out there that's better? Like it wasn't great, but that was the best that we had from Hasbro. I mean, animated Slag I freaking love, but that's a very different aesthetic and different look. All the Baver stuff obviously is very different, but like in terms of looking like the G1 toy or the G1 cartoon, it's not Power of the Primes. Which was that? What was that subline?
This is Power of the Primes.
That was Power of the Primes. Okay, sorry.
Yeah.
Combiner Wars, Titans Return, Power of the Primes. Yeah, that Power of the Primes set was, the Volcanicus set was the best we had, and it was pretty underwhelming.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't hate it at the time, but yeah, like it's definitely it's one of those things that mine will go into combine mode and will just be Volcanicus from now on for the rest of his life. So
I'm sorry.
you know, once you get like a bunch of upgrade kits, then it's not that horrible.
Once you spend more than Volcanicus himself on upgrade kits, then he's a passable thing that shouldn't exist.
Yes. Right.
Yeah,
And I'm right there with you.
Yeah, I'm in like a little bit of a purge phase for my collection, so he is on the chopping block.
If anyone's gonna go,
Yeah, honestly, I prefer the Power Core Combiners Dinobot Combiner over Volcanicus.
but that's a different character.
It is, but I'm just saying in terms of a Dinobot Combiner, I prefer the Power Core Combiners. Was it Grimstone? I prefer him over Volcanicus. And I'm well aware that Power Core Combiners don't have a ton of love in the Transformers fandom.
And they have a fun story in Japan where Grimstone is actually Grim Master, who is actually Kakaryu from the Dino Force from Victory, which is just awesome. So there.
Totally ignorant of that till just now.
Yeah, at the end of Victory, the Dino Force, they stop being Destrons and they join the Cybertron forces, and then later, much later, Kakaryu becomes Grim Master and gets his own set of master drones or whatever they're called, and yeah, neat.
See, as a dinosaur nerd, I love the fact that we got dinosaurs that had never been Dinobots before. So, Dimetrodon, Parasaurolophus, Ankylosaurus, Styracosaurus. I forget what the fifth one was. But, I was like, ooh, dinosaurs that were never Dinobots. I'm down for that. Like, Scorn is my favorite one from the Bayverse.
Scorn's pretty good.
Yeah.
The Bayverse ones, if they weren't, like, so minty colored, like so candy colored, they had a platinum reissue set, and I really like that. In terms of, is he coming? Is he here? Say something.
I can hear you.
And we can hear
gosh.
you.
We can hear you now.
It's a victory.
Hey,
Technology.
look at that! Nice of you to finally join
30 minutes.
us, Paul.
Did I miss everything?
No, we're barely in. So.
We're talking about Power Core Combiners.
Barely scratched the surface.
Yep. We've already veered way off course, so
You're talking about my least favorite Transformers ever, so I'm glad I'm
As
here.
I said, I know they're not people's favorites.
That's me. Or what is it?
Paul.
Did you do something to me?
It's just just when I hold you up, you get funny colored. This is you when you were frozen. You were just stuck for a long time, and we made fun of you, and we were gonna hopefully leave you up during the show, but then you went away. So I'm gonna just go ahead and hold you up for a minute here.
1,000-yard stare. Just that looks like a younger me. Before times.
Before the dark times, before the Empire.
Before the computer update.
Yeah. A whole epoch changed while I was doing that.
Buy some Unicrons. Buy some Unicrons.
Hey, y'all anyone need a Unicron? So where are you at?
So we're talking
Power
about
Core
Slug.
Combiners.
Yeah, well, Power Core, but we're just talking about how amazing he is and how much better he is than all the other crap we've gotten before. So
Looks pretty cool. Can't wait for more.
So Can we briefly, Lucas, do you have pictures of the announcements that the non-announcements, the things that just showed up Saturday, the Cyberverse guys?
Because there's more Dinobots there.
Ready.
Yeah, because you got another slug. We have another slug. 2 days in a row of slugs. And this one, for some bizarre reason, combines with Megatron.
Really? What was that?
Yeah.
From?
It came out on Saturday. It's Bumblebee plus Swoop equals Swoople Boople, and
Swoop.
and Megatron plus Slug equals Slugatron, or I don't know the names. The photos popped up.
And
there's
I was
photos?
looking at. Oh yeah. I was
I
looking
didn't
at
see
the
that.
packaging
There was
artwork.
was a whole news story.
So Peter, somehow you missed the new movie coming out again, but your leaks or whatever, you're like straight on it.
If you've got ridiculous Cyberverse stuff coming out, then I'm going to know about that. I love that series.
Yeah.
Oh, it's Cyberverse. That's why I didn't. Yeah,
Right.
it probably just totally went over my head. I didn't. Yeah, sorry, Paul. I know you're a Cyberverse extreme collector, so.
You're just no, but I'm not a Transformers elitist that ignores half the stuff coming out. Oh.
Sure.
The
Even though
Slug
it's
Megatron-
garbage.
Yeah, the Slug Megatron thing looks bad, and it doesn't explain why Megatron is combining with an Autobot. I was trying to see if they changed Slug's faction or some way. Like, nope, still an Autobot. The Swoop Bumblebee thing looks decent. Like, in both those toys, you could tell that like one of the toys they actually put some effort into and made kind of look neat, and the other one just looks like a brick. And in the Megatron one, Megatron is the higher end one compared to Slug, and the Bumblebee and Swoop looks a lot better than Bumblebee, and it's a halfway decent looking Swoop that I kind of want to pick up.
They look this much better. If you guys remember the RID 15 duo combiners, the duo, yeah, they're this much better than those where they kind of like pop into or fold into a unit, but they still transform individually.
Yep.
So they're fun, and kids will like them, and it's their favorite characters, and it's going to be in support of that new TV movie or YouTube movie or whatever the hell season 4 is supposed to be. It's going to be fun, and that makes me think and or hope, we'll do both, think and hope, that there are going to be more Dinobots in Cyberverse down the road.
I mean, I will say that the old duo combiners weren't bad. The ones where they actually combined like multiple, like there was a Minosaur.
Yeah.
Oh god, that thing was hot garbage. So, because I got that from my kid and he was excited about it, and then after he opened it and played with it, and he was like, yeah, like he just like lost interest almost immediately.
I got my son on clearance the Bumblebee one where it's like the whole team combines, and I never like realized that until for the longest time that Drift somehow turns into the sword. It's just like Drift's colors; it doesn't look anything like Drift, but it's orange and black sword. I've got that one and the Galvatron Cyclonus one, and that's a fun Cyclonus mold. But yeah, for the most part, you know, the limbs especially are just garbage. Yeah.
Did anyone catch the names on these guys? Bumble Swoop and Slugtron. Whoa.
I mean, Bumble Swoop especially is like that was like an all-nighter in the marketing department. Like, what do we name this guy? Let's put on a couple pots of coffee here, folks. We are going to hammer this one out.
Yeah. Second runner-up was just Boop.
I would have gone for Boop. I want Masterpiece Boop.
I mean, there's all sorts of going to be a whole bunch of surprises in Cyberverse coming our way. You know, like there's been listings that have been sort of leaked.
No one knows about. Shh.
Yeah. So it's just, you know, I don't think anyone's super shocked by this. You know, it's just like you said, the RID pattern of like gimmicky kid friendly stuff. And
I'm honestly kind of surprised that there's leaks for that, because normally the way it works is that something shows up in the store and we didn't even know about it. There's a sighting. You're like, oh, hey, look, it's a new thing.
That has been the trend with Cyberverse, which has been and later RID stuff, which has been interesting as opposed to all the constant listing leaks and proto stolen stuff and things falling off of trucks and things showing up at Paul's house and whatever. I mean, allegedly whatever else is going on in the run up to an official announcement and or release.
Sometimes the Cyberverse stuff shows up at Paul's house, but not very often. And the thing is, people just don't care, so you don't typically.
I know a couple guys who care.
Yeah, I just mean, the Generations is where the bulk of the people our age and the people online are like all clamoring about. But this stuff's out there. It's all getting made at the same factories, and it all is in the orbit of the same moons of Saturn. So
right, but most of the time people just haven't even cared enough to leak it. So that's the thing I think is kind of interesting.
Yeah. I mean, if you get if someone's like, hey, would you like this cool Generations toy no one's ever seen, or this Bumble Swoop no one's ever seen? People are going to go with the non-Bumble Swoop option almost 100% of the time, I think. Unless it was named Boop, of course. But I guess I wanted to bring up, I don't know if you guys have touched on this, but we're talking about the reveals, the Hasbro reveals from Transformers Friday, I guess we'll call it, whatever.
FanFest Friday.
Friday.
FanFest. Yep.
Fan first? Fan fest?
There were lots of Fs.
Definitely lots of Fs.
On both sides of the screen.
Triple
there's
F.
just so many Fs.
Fs in the chat. Do you think that Hasbro is getting more comfortable with the idea of like frequent little reveals and it's like working for them? Or do you think they would like to go back to like, here's the whole wave for the next few months in one day? Or do you think they've like, because of Pulse, maybe they've realized, hey, batching this stuff is better for us? But there's tons of things that get missed, I feel like, when they do it this way. I guess there always has been.
You got to stop talking and stop asking the question so we can answer any one part of the run-on questions that you just dropped on us. So
please do.
Batching. Yes. That way we are monthly excited or quarterly excited or every other month excited for whatever the pile of junk is that they're throwing at us because they know we're going to eat it up. And if we're not going to eat it up, the scalpers are going to eat it up. Someone's going to eat it up. Kids are going to eat it up. We're all hungry for robots. So let's eat.
I mean, I'm trying to think as far as like Toy Fair and SDCC, did they reveal everything, or was it just certain? It was only a couple waves, right? So didn't they always like kind of drop like a couple things in the middle anyway, or like didn't even announce them, just kind of put them out there kind of thing?
It varied by year. Some years they were like, this is pretty much, the first 3 waves of the year. And then some years is like, here's 2 things. This is what we got. Sorry, guys.
I feel like it's never been consistent. It's been very all over the place.
Yeah, I mean, Toy Fair usually was a pretty darn big tentpole. And then San Diego and then New York as well had started to become bigger tentpoles in terms of reveals. But it kind of just depended on where they were in terms of the schedule stuff. Was it ready to show or not? But Toy Fair is, I mean, Paul, you've been to multiple Toy Fairs, so you can attest to just like walking around and be like, boatloads of things being shown.
Yeah, I mean, it's different. The last few years has been a little different because they have so many brands to show that they only talk about like a third of the stuff that's on the floor. Like I remember I think it was the last year where they showed off like Siege Jetfire and Omega Supreme. All this new Cyberverse, the whole new Cyberverse wave was there, and they didn't even mention it. You just had to like run into it on the floor and be like, "Holy cow!" Like all the kiddie stuff or the gimmicky stuff, they kind of, they just don't bother mentioning usually for unless it's a new show. Like they showed clips of Cyberverse and stuff, but they like didn't make it. They didn't waste. I'm not gonna say waste time, but they didn't spend time talking about that in the presentation. So there's always more stuff like on display than they necessarily like give you promo shots of or tell you ahead of time is coming. Like the BotBots always had their own table and a display, but they would always talk about the tentpole piece and maybe at least the first wave or two, but they wouldn't like talk about the Battle Masters or all the Micromasters that were coming. They'd be, there was always more stuff than they had time to really focus on. But they would show a lot of it at I think they showed the most stuff at Toy Fair, like throughout the year, because I think they were also showing retailers that stuff for the first time.
And that's the thing is I kind of feel like that this is a good way for them to, kind of get these toys out in the forefront because, a lot of times you have toy reviewers and you have podcasters and whatnot, but I mean, so many people just aren't plugged into that, doing this type of thing and not just a one shot, like toy fair kind of thing, I think like helps them out. And like, I don't see, I mean, in my opinion, I feel like they should just do a Fan First Friday, like every, or whatever it's called, like every week, and then just like rotate through all the brands, like, Marvel Legends and Star Wars and, whatever they may happen to have. And like, even if it's, Magic or if it's like board games or just whatever, just kind of get used to doing that. Cause like they can always, I mean, shoot, like this thing, what they show off 4 toys, I think. I mean,
yeah,
like there's a lot of reveals they do where they've dropped like some of those select figures just randomly on a Friday. Like, why not have an event for that? And I mean, I don't know. I'm sure the logistics for that it's a lot easier said than done. That it probably still takes a fair amount of time to line up, like all the moderators and all the AV stuff and all that type of thing. But
I think it's probably a lot of moving parts, and especially if you're talking about putting it up for sale, and they could always do pre-orders, but I'm sure they would rather not if they can just have the thing on hand and sell it like right away. I agree. I think they should, if they could do it every week. I mean, I know they could. Like, it seems like they have enough product. It may not be in the warehouse ready to ship, so maybe that's why they wait for like, logistics, like you said. But I wish they would, and I wish it was consistent.
I feel like this spring they've been doing it about once a week. So last Friday was Transformers. The Friday before that was Power Rangers. And the 2 weeks before that was Marvel Legends. And then this coming week, we're getting another Marvel Legends one. So, there's 3 that they're doing. So I mean, there's 3 brands that they're doing 4 weeks in a row of with those 3 brands. I mean, I don't think you have enough when it comes to G.I. Joe to do that. G.I. Joe is so much more of a sporadic line, but between Power Rangers, G.I. Joe, Power Rangers, Marvel Legends, and Transformers, and then Star Wars, throw that in there here and again, you can run, a couple weeks in a row before things, start to fall off. Maybe they ease up with the summertime as people go on vacations. I'm curious to see what these will look like once people start going back into the offices. Will they be able to have this as a more permanent setup where like, hey, this is the room where we do all these at, and have it as like a permanent sort of place, and they have like mini dioramas that they can put the toys in so you could show them, and that would be kind of neat.
Would love that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'd be excited too, even if they started doing like Nerf and some of those types of things too, because, I don't know, like some of that stuff's, neat to see. And so then it almost, if you get used to, okay, I know on Fridays that at, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, whatever, I'm going to tune into the Hasbro stream and just see whatever new toys they have. I mean, I don't think it's necessarily a bad way to go.
Yeah, as Aldrin just said, May the 4th was Star Wars Day. They had one, that day. So it's they've been rolling through these things at least, when maybe April and May, or just maybe the month of May, on a pretty darn consistent basis.
I guess it's just kind of funny when something just goes up for sale out of nowhere and like there's no hoopla. It's like, wait, what? Why'd you do that? And it sells out, so it doesn't matter.
Pulse tries to make it a hoopla with the emails. The Marvel Legends ones have kind of befuddled me because there's been some store exclusive Marvel Legends that I had no idea were coming, or I shouldn't say no idea, I had a slight inkling they were coming, and it'd be like an hour after the fact that I'm seeing someone post on a Facebook group like, oh, there's a new Marvel Legends Walmart exclusive Captain America. I was like, wait, what? And then Walmart is such a terrible website that unless someone sends you the link, it's darn near impossible to find the listing for the toy.
Yeah, if you just look up Captain America on the Marvel or on the Walmart website, you're just gonna find 600,000 items that say "America good" and
Yeah.
America woohoo.
Even if you look up Marvel Legends Infinity Saga Captain America and
That's
you
too many
press
words.
search and then you sort by new, nothing comes up. Like
You got to
nothing
use
worthwhile.
Google. You got to use Google to
Yeah.
search for on Walmart.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, no, 100%. Yeah, Google actually works a lot better. But I will say that I'm really excited that the Walmart exclusives have been going up on Pulse as well, so that if I can never have to order anything from Walmart.com again, I will be, completely happy. Like, I don't hate going to Walmart, but my God, like their website is just so bad. Like, and again, it's not bad about ordering in stock item. It's pre-order, like anything pre-ordered, and then it's like a roll of the dice if they ship it to you in a bubble mailer or whatever. So,
True.
so
who do we have after Slug? Who are we doing
So
next?
after Slug, let's see here.
It's been a half hour since we've been on Slug.
Right. So Rekgar is the next one on the photo slideshow here. So he looks
Man.
absolutely fantastic.
It's perfect. It's perfect.
You even got the spikes. It's great.
Are the forearm spikes that long in the movie? Okay.
I mean, those have to be rubber, right?
I hope they are child eye poking, piercing robot-y points.
Third party quality sharpness. Like you can pierce your child's ear with these spikes right here. Yeah, that's a darn good looking toy.
And the chest things, do they rotate? It kind of looks like they're on a ball joint.
I think they are.
Interesting.
It's amazing that he can ride. He can ride himself.
Yep.
That was very important.
On the seat, he has the little fin, the little blade poking up. Has anyone looked under his butt to see if he has a slot to like marry them together? I tried to see on the slideshow, but I couldn't tell. But I'm hoping that way you can lock him in. Because like the way his waist unfolds, it's like a long flat like fin almost, and you have to unfold his waist, and then so that would correlate to if he's sitting on himself, it would be a fin in it would be a butt crack is what it would be.
Right.
But you can't see under there from the photography, which is fine. They shouldn't be taking pictures of the robots' butts, but or undercarriages or whatever we want to call them today, skid plates. Yeah. For stability's sake, I would think that he had some sort of like crack.
I would assume he has to have a crack.
I mean, I will say, and Lucas, you can probably attest to this pretty well, with Marvel Legends toys, getting an action figure to sit on a motorcycle is pretty arduous of a task, especially then to balance said toy on a motorcycle. I'm wondering if they have a stand, or maybe they'll do like I would kind of enjoy if they did a Junkion down the road little box set that came with maybe some extra weapons and like a little diorama kind of thing that you could plunk the wheels down into so it didn't roll away. But yeah, action figures on motorcycles are awesome looking and often fall over and topple your whole shelf.
It looks like there is a kickstand according to the photo.
Okay.
I can see one underneath there.
I didn't really get a chance to check this out like closely. It does look really good. Like they really nailed it.
Yeah, this is pretty darn incredible, honestly. I mean, that like some of these figures that come out, like there's a few where you're like, it's passable, but then I just always wonder if there's someone like, was there like a huge Rekgar fan, like that whatever, spent forever designing this thing.
Maybe.
I don't care if there was a huge Rekgar fan or not designing it. Whoever designed it really just sang us a song, and it's a beautiful, beautiful song.
It's just amazing that it took so long to get here. It took 35 years. Like, what?
Yeah. I mean, this is kind of crazy. This is a mainline toy, to be honest.
Would you say it's a mini masterpiece, Lucas?
I might.
I mean, so let me pause on that note, though. For a character like Wreck-Gar and then the subsequent Junkions, I know Rob has got a lot of the third-party Junkions, but that, you start to add up that cost very quickly. I mean, this is definitely something that I would see myself like, all right, buying 5 or 6 third-party Junkions, yeah. Buying 5 or 6 Voyager-class Junkions, all right, I'll army build that. I would probably do that, very quickly without much convincing versus spending that kind of dough on third party. I mean, I know the third party will definitely look better, but when you're buying quantity like that, I mean, this might surpass not surpass, but get me to not buy a masterpiece toy or masterpiece caliber toy.
Well, I mean, you can always do the X-Transbots one as your main display, and then like you said, the background army builders, you get this.
Yeah.
KFC.
Sorry. Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Yeah.
KFC.
I apologize. I forget which one is which.
Well, I mean, Keith is designing for both now, so
Right.
Yeah.
It's interchangeable for me.
Mostly, yeah.
That's a good figure though too. I do enjoy that one. But
on the back of the box it says Junkion Dance Party.
Is that the cutout that's going to come with it? The little scene dio? I hope so.
I guess.
They need to have a non-posable, non-transforming wheelie stuck in breakdance upside down mode. Or maybe that's why his legs are bent like that, so that he can be posed in upside down breakdance mode.
I gotta say, the only thing I think this is missing is the little TV that he pulls out. We talk TV.
Again, a Junkion accessory pack.
That might show up in
there
the
has to be a bunch of repaints
Maybe.
and packs and all that of this, right?
Oh yeah.
Makes sense.
A big girder for Daniel to hit him with.
Look at how far they have come with this.
Well, I mean, yeah. Look at how this. Not my favorite G1 toy.
Now remember, the toys were designed based on the Floro Dairy drawings, and then the cartoons character models were animated based on further revisions of that. So the toys are based on earlier revisions of Dairy's control art or whatever. Yeah. So they came out of different places in the process. But yeah, we should have gotten a nicer Wreck-Gar a long time ago. I like the RTS one. I like the redecos and retools that came out of that, and the little fun 3-pack and all that, whatever, great. And then there were the Made in Japan add-on sets that you could differentiate further your Junkion army, and a lot of us went all in on that. And I don't regret it, but man, this is a big step up.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree.
Yeah, I'm not a big Reveal the Shield Wreck-Gar fan, so this is really hitting a sweet spot for me. I bought the Combiner Wars one, and I opened it and was just like, I mean, the head's better, the face is better than the Reveal of the Shield, but then it's just it's just groove. It's just, Oh, I'm not even talking about the tiny Combiner Wars.
Oh, you mean the deluxe
scale?
I'm
talking about the
Walgreens one. Exclusive.
Yeah.
How many of us have all the cards for the Walgreens one?
You and Nick.
And Scotty, he probably has them too, right?
Yeah.
So.
I probably do without realizing it, though. Having probably thrown some away.
Oh no!
I'll throw cards away. Just throw them at me.
I will next time.
Put them in the spokes of your bicycle. Makes a really cool noise.
So I do have a question about those the little characters that they're coming with the leader class figures. Do you guys like those, or do you think it's kind of a waste of resources?
Waste of plastic, waste of parts count.
Yeah.
I want better weapons, missing TVs, missing weapons. I'd rather have that stuff than a non-knees, non-elbows, non-transforming thing.
Yeah, I definitely think that that's kind of miss for them. So I don't know. I mean, I guess I appreciate where they're trying to go, but yeah, I don't think it was needed.
I find it weird.
Go ahead, Paul.
I find it weird that they like refuse to paint the faces on these exosuits. This is the second one that's been like blank face. Like the one that came with Buzzworthy Bumblebee is the same thing, except they just painted it all like blue. It's weird. That's it.
Yeah.
Cheapens it even further, is all I'm saying.
Right.
I think to me the biggest disappointment is, does that mean we're not going to get a Studio Series Wheelie? Legends Wheelie is pretty good, but a Studio Series Wheelie would be a lot better.
Even if he was at the core class, I would be okay with that.
Yeah.
I don't need a deluxe, with my air quotes, my deluxe $25 wheelie with extra slingshot parts or whatever. But yeah, a little core class cutesy guy that actually transformed would be a lot of fun.
Yep. Because that's an awesome car mode, in my opinion.
So I guess we got some love for Power of the Prime's Wreck-Gar in the chat. So they thought that was better than Reveal the Shield. So I mean, it wasn't horrible, but like you said, I mean, this is just a lot better.
Yeah. Again, same thing like with Slug, where it's just light years better than what we've gotten in the past.
So the one thing I'm curious about, and I didn't notice this about Nah until you look at the packaging, is that did you notice that the Dinobot, or not the Dinobot, sorry, the Sharkticon like face or whatever is a separate piece in the packaging? So is he a parts former?
I think it's weird that they decided to do that, because it just connects to his hood, like, and you can see he could have just moved down in the box a little bit. It's really a strange decision.
So I have a theory on that we're going to get a future exclusive with the ripped in half face. That's an easy way to do the sliced in half face.
Not a bad idea.
I could see that.
Yeah. I mean, if you did a Pit of Judgment 2 set with pink hot rod, gray cup, and ripped in half face Sharkticon, that would be a fun follow up from last year. Maybe are there any other Quintesson guards that they haven't done yet? Quintesson characters from that room
From that scene,
or just in general? Yeah.
No, did they do the prosecutor? They did a little slug prosecutor.
Yeah. Maybe the guy who flips the switch.
Yeah, the executioner. They haven't done him.
Yeah, that's the only one I think. Or they could do one of the season. I mean, this isn't a movie, but they could do with some of the other Quintessons that,
like the scientists and weirdos. Yeah.
The wizard guy.
Yeah.
What an asshole he was.
Mara Al Uthra or whatever his name was.
Yeah.
Big giant eyes.
So
yeah, it's a good idea, Phil.
I was gonna say, so now I'm showing off the Sharkticon here. What do you guys think about them?
I can't say perfection enough. I feel like I'm going to start getting like repetitive. But yeah, I already have lots and lots of Sharkticons, and these are welcome additions.
Yeah, it looks awesome.
I did enjoy on the live stream Friday how they're like, oh, his name's Gnaw. Not that there's a good reason for him or they was ever named Gnaw, just accept the G1 toy was called Gnaw, so therefore forever on moving forward. Sharkicons who are never given a name in anything else are not named Gnaw because someone slapped that on a package.
No, I mean they called him Gnaw in the Dreamwave book for the one time that he showed up. I think it was in War and Peace.
God, I don't remember that.
He was Wheelie's pet, and he's like, "This is Gnaw," and it's like, "Okay, neat." And then Sandstorm got shot, and then they moved on from that whole thought process.
Universe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I can't remember in the movie.
Bankruptcy.
In the movie, did they have guns as well? Like, I was just trying to figure out why he comes with a gun.
The Gem 1 came with a gun. And I think he might have been drawn with a gun in the control art by Derry, but in the movie they did not have guns, and only Cup used the tail flail. The rest of them just kind of, when they were in bot mode, just kind of ran around like. Ugh.
Yeah, they're very fat and ineffective as robots.
But yeah, I was just surprised that it came with the gun. I don't know. It seems like they didn't necessarily need to put that in there, but hey, if you like it.
Yeah, I guess it's not movie accurate, right? It's like
right. That's what I'm saying.
They sort of pulled from the other well.
Yeah, the minor gripe I have with them is that the way the head, the upper jaw sits on the back of the head, it should be split into kind of two, versus just the sort of hoodie look there. So that's about it. Otherwise, yeah, this is darn near spot on.
But yeah, and this was one of the few reveals that didn't leak ahead of time, so it was kind of nice actually seeing a new figure. So I thought it was interesting that they actually discussed that quite a bit on the stream. So I guess they're well aware of all the leaks out there ahead of time.
They seem genuinely disappointed that Wreck-Gar got out a day ahead of them.
Oh, I'm sure.
Well, I mean, the character art showed up on a T-shirt about a week and a half prior to the toy or whatever leaking. So, I mean, there are. I mean, and that's just a licensing snafu, and that's going to happen too.
But to me, that's not that big of a reveal because it's basically G1 Wreck-Gar on a T-shirt. The licensing art is so similar to G1 Wreck-Gar that it's just like, oh, okay. If I didn't know that was going to be the licensing artwork, I would have just like, all right, hey, here's another picture of G1 Wreck-Gar.
Well, yes, but the thing was that there were context clues where that company had shirts of all these other toys
that were in the studio series, and that was the box art. For them.
they took the box art and like traced it and made it so it's screen printable, and like, oh, I see, I see what you did here. So that was, you had to really look and pay attention to figure that out. But
yeah,
it was a tell, but it was a vague one. It was yeah. But it was an exciting one. But yeah, and it turns out worthwhile because that Wreck-Gar kicks ass.
Can we pause for a minute here and talk about the fact that I've had these on pre-order from not like a toy website, but from Amazon for about a month now. So I mean, it talks about like leaks getting out. Like this wave of toys especially is like really been out there for a while.
Well, it's been out there, like the list, like the UPC codes and everything have been out there for over a year. Since like,
but the sheer fact that you were able to order something on a website like Amazon feels like, somewhere something, a couple balls got dropped there. And whether that's like, maybe this was meant to be revealed at like a toy fair type thing and didn't because of COVID, or what.
Well, the other thing with Amazon, it's not like you could just like click on a website and like, oh, order it. Like I think it's the wish list trick that you had to do.
Yeah, you gotta do
right.
Yep.
Yeah.
So it's not like it's like straightforward where a random person would do it. It's just like some of us crazy people that are like, well, if you add this to your wish list and then you like order or whatever using this special link, then you can order it. So I don't know.
Definitely. Sorry, Lucas, go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say I feel like I've had it on pre-order long enough that I honestly forgot that I had pre-ordered it from Amazon.
Well, what I went and did on Friday was like I went back and looked at my pre-orders. Like, did I pre-order the right thing? Was the thing I thought I was pre-ordering like a month or so back, was that the actual one? Yes. The things that got shown today, those pictures are now up next to my pre-orders. That, we've even had like the delivery date expectation changed on those once or twice already.
Mm-hmm.
So next, Paul, how excited are you to get a new Starscream?
Oh, the shattered glass one. Looks good. They did it right, and they added some cool stuff. Like the sword is kind of interesting, I guess. I think it looks good. All these shattered glass figures look really good. They're like better than the originals, in my opinion. The toys are the molds are better, and they just they can do things they were like the old Blur was awful. It was that Armada Blur, just like, come on, no one really wanted that. Yeah, we all just squinted and it's like, yeah, it's Blur, but now it really is Blur. It really is.
Well, that's why he became evil, because he had that body.
Right. I'm into it. The Siege mold is, I think, the best Seeker mold of all time. So, at this point, so I'm all for it. I think it's great.
Yeah, I was going to ask you. I hadn't had a chance to ask you yet. You would prefer this mold versus the Earthrise?
Yeah, 100%. Okay. I think it's a better action figure for sure. Sucks that it's like he's basically wearing the jet on his back, but I mean it can do as a figure, it can do way more than the Earthrise one. It has a lot more posability. So I like that. So I think that's cool, and I also think it's going back to the question earlier about like how are they the way they're revealing stuff. It's like they're definitely deliberately not being like, here's all the shattered glass toys, bam, they're trickling them out, and we don't know how many there's gonna be because there's no leaks.
Have we talked on this show yet about the Megatron one yet?
Which one?
The shattered glass Megatron. That was, again, one of those sort of lack of fanfare. Hey, here's an email and some promo pics was the announcement that we got for Shattered Glass Megatron.
Oh yeah, I totally forgot about him.
There you go.
there you are. Yeah. So that's another thing. As I was saying, that like if we would have had another Fan First Friday, which I mean you couldn't do it with just one, but maybe throw a couple other figures or a Cyberverse figure in there or whatever.
Well, that just shows you the news cycle is so quick. They have your attention on that Shatterglass Megatron for literally 48 hours. So they have 48 hours to sell it.
Yeah.
Then the next thing is grabbing everyone's attention. We're all children.
If you watch, if you have Transformers in your Facebook feed, it's the same shit for 48 hours from everybody you don't want to hear from, and then it's the next toy. Then it's a leak after that, and then it's another leak, and then it's Hasbro Pulse, and then it's a third-party toy. But there is stuff on every day.
Well, like today is Dynamus. Dynamus?
Yeah,
Dynamus Unicron thing. You like leaks? Here's some leaks, some spoilers and shit.
The card. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, that card thing has had like a lot of weird stuff, like the Decepticon Arc. Mm-hmm. It's shown up in that. Yeah, and I think I had those cards for like several weeks before I realized they were a sticker. But yeah, because we haven't talked either in this show about the Grimlock Mirage set, which came out, again, with little to no fanfare, and boom, there it is on Amazon. It's an Amazon exclusive, but then also available on Pulse.
And everyone pre-ordered theirs, and then that was that.
Yep. That was crazy, though, because that was like the #1 toy on Amazon for like a couple days there.
48 hours. Yeah. It was on the front page for 48 hours. I think you can still buy it, can't you?
From one avenue or another, I'm sure, yeah.
I think it's been on Amazon the whole time, which blows my mind, because if it's on the front, if it's in the top, if it's in the top like 100 toys of Amazon, they're selling like thousands an hour in order to do that. Insane. So I don't know what that really means for that toy. Like, are Amazon exclusives far less rare than we think?
If it says exclusive, it's really rare, and it's worth $250, and I'm not going to get anything less than that when I resell it.
I mean, that all has to do with people. That all has to do with demand.
People being psycho about dirge.
But I think maybe the reason so many people bought this is because they're worried about the history of what has happened. And so, I don't know, if like Amazon was like, hey, our numbers indicate we should get a lot more of these, so we have more to sell.
By that logic, though, you would think there'd be more G.I. Joes at Target, and there aren't.
Right. Right. Well, Target is not Amazon.
This is a fact.
But with that too is you wonder, like, can they increase their, like, when they first started selling out of some of those Amazon exclusives, it's been probably a year and a half, and isn't that usually about the cycle that, you know, as they're planning on things and whatnot? So maybe they're finally upping their order on some of this stuff. I mean, who knows?
Yeah, there's definitely been some weird stuff I can tell you about with the G.I. Joes, whereas a lot of those figures that are Target exclusives were not originally supposed to be Target exclusives. And it just suddenly changed. So like retailers or wholesalers were told, like, hey, this wave is going to have Beachhead and blah, 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 and all these people in it. And then when the wave finally shows up a year later, when you actually get the stuff you ordered, it's different than what you bought. And they're like, whoops, sorry. So, like, Major Blood was not supposed to be a Target exclusive up to, like, 6 months ago. And I think, you know, Target says, hey, we love this Cobra Island stuff. Give us the Cobra Island. And they're like, do we still have time to change the box? Do it. Go. Like, and then they get it to Target. But I think the production runs, the numbers are set way in advance, so they can't really, like, change that. But I don't know. Rick would know better. I just make stuff up. Except for that was factual about the case breakdowns.
Except for the things that I make up, it's all factual. And except for the things that are factual, it's all made up.
I'm just clarifying that.
Yeah,
I don't know. I'm making up stuff about. I am surmising the way the production runs go, but the
Paul,
breakdowns work.
When I can have a drone deliver my toys to me.
You want that for free? Never.
I didn't say I want it for free. I just said I want a robot to deliver me a robot.
You did.
But yeah, so I don't know. The thing I think is, I'd be curious if they're doing some of these Fan First Fridays too, just to try to get ahead of some of these leaks, because I mean, it's been so consistent, and like all of these leaks have, I mean, like most of them have come true. Like it's kind of amazing, like how they've managed to not stop it and not even like get false info out there so that you don't necessarily believe all the leaks, you know. But it seems like almost most of the stuff is, you know, like it's leaked a year, 2 years in advance, and it's like, here you go, here's what you're gonna get next year.
But in terms of pictures, the non-Fan First Friday stuff was more of a surprise than this stuff shown during Fan First Friday. I mean, half of what we saw at Fan First Friday, we had already seen, in some cases, extensive pictures on. But the Shattered Glass Megatron, Grimlock, and Mirage, there was that one that I think turned out to be a fake Dinobot repaint Grimlock picture that went around the internet a couple weeks ago. But the non-Fan First Friday reveals, I have been caught by surprise by those. Again, knew as a toy they were coming, but hadn't seen what it looked like till then.
I think the difference with some of that is that you're talking about selects, and so the retail channel on that is very narrow. versus a mass retail toy that's going to be sold all over the world.
That's true.
I think that's
Yeah.
probably part of why you're seeing that. So I
No,
don't
wait,
know.
selects?
Yeah, some of the selects and whatnot. I mean, not all of them, but a lot of them that went up. Like
G2 Ramjet.
Well, like Artfire, maybe.
well, so Artfire leaked,
Yeah,
Right.
Artfire was a leak. Yeah.
but like the Shattered Glass Megatron, like why did that not leak?
It wasn't okay. I just want to. You're saying selects, but I think you mean exclusives, like retailer exclusives, because none of those other things are selects. Only Artfire and they're specific. They're different lines.
Was the Shattered Glass, was that a Hasbro Pulse exclusive?
It seems like it. It seems like it, but it's hard to say.
Is it exclusive with that type of packaging? I thought that's what I understood, that the Shattered Glass with the comic book was exclusive, but then there'd be other packaging without the comic book that wouldn't be exclusive.
Yeah, I think the toy might not be exclusive, but they're definitely doing the comic exclusively, and I think they're selling it before they're letting anyone else sell it. But I have no idea. Yeah. But almost all the other stuff that doesn't necessarily leak is the pattern I've seen is it's usually a retailer thing, a retailer exclusive. So it doesn't go in the same like channels as everything else. All this other stuff that leaks is like going to be at Target, Walmart, every store in existence, because they're making a lot of them, and it's the mass market stuff. And so I just wonder does it come from? It's got to come from someone kind of high up, or like early on in the process, like someone in Asia is my guess, like dealing with manufacturing or something. But it is bizarre because it does seem like you said, it's pretty accurate. The only thing they can't ever seem to get right is kind of like with the Joes that I mentioned. They'll say stuff is exclusive that ends up not being exclusive, or say stuff that's going to be in the mainline that ends up being exclusive. Like, for instance, I think there was a rumor that Thrust, the Bumblebee movie Thrust, was going to be an exclusive, but it's not. Mm-hmm. That's the mainline thing, but that probably hasn't been revealed yet.
Yeah, that was going to be another Target exclusive, was the rumor.
Yeah, well, and then today we saw T-Rex, right?
Yeah,
like in box.
And I thought that was going to be more exclusive.
In box, the nicest, blandest chest, non-deco, flat, boring ass thing that you could possibly release. I'm excited for it.
Yeah, and I guess that kind of goes against what I was saying, because that one leaked like a month ago. At least.
But is that supposed to be mainline, or is that exclusive?
We don't know.
I think it's a Target thing, but just because it's a Target in America doesn't mean it's like only a Target in the world. Because
it'll show up at Toys R Us Canada, and it'll show up at 7-Eleven Japan, and it'll show up at someone's mom's house in Amsterdam. I don't know.
Mexico.
Right.
I think it was at Big W in Australia is where it was found today. Something like that. Some toy store. I don't know. So, yeah, those are like regional retailer exclusives.
I just want to find out what Peter was telling us about the other day, the Afghanistan Toys R Us. I want to know what exclusives they get.
Diarrhea.
They get dead Starscream dust.
Lots of dust in Kabul. Yeah.
So,
so in terms of leaks, did you guys see someone screenshotted and sent me a leak for the next one, a Shattered Glass that was actually on the Pulse website?
A gold bug?
Oh,
Goldbug, yeah.
Yeah. Whoops. For those who don't know, they loaded the wrong blurb on their page for a minute, and it said like Shattered Glass Goldbug, he's gonna be super awesome and cool, and you should buy him, and blah blah blah, whatever the hell it said. And then they replaced it with, was it Blur or Starscream?
Starscream.
It was Starscream.
Swapped it back. Yeah.
So my question to you guys on this is that intentional? is that intentional to get us to talk?
It's whoops.
Right.
I mean, I don't think so. I think they fuck up. Like when they fucked up and put up the wrong prices for stuff. Oops, we just sold this Centurion droid for $20 instead of 30 for a day.
Yeah. I chalk those more up to whoops, but the marketing stuff, to me, I'm sure there are definitely whoopses, but I also think there's a viralness to that sort of marketing of, oh, look, they made a mistake. Everyone shares it. It gets bounced around through all the Transformer pages and text chains and social media. So it's like you generate, no pun intended, some buzz around a new Bumblebee toy.
I don't think so, but sure. I just think it's people fucking up. Because they fuck up a lot.
Right. Yeah, I would say it's probably that, like in the fact that we have these like crazy fans that are screenshotting the website, right away, like, holy shit, look at this, and pass it around 1,000 times.
So speaking of that, like, what do you think Goldbug's going to be? Any thoughts?
Bumblebee mold, right?
But he was hot shot the first time around. He was hot shot with a new head.
I don't know. There's a lot of things it could be, because like Shattered Glass Goldbug is like kind of a oddball. So I don't know. Just put it out there. Lots of cool things it could be.
Any thoughts on who else we're going to get in the Shattered Glass releases?
Hopefully nobody.
You're not a fan of Shattered Glass there, Peter?
I am. I was happy that it came out. I was happy the first, main year that they did it at BotCon. I liked a couple of nods that they did later on, and then I was over it. I'm liking it for those who are genuinely enjoying it, but it's just box checking for me. Modern Shattered Glass, I don't think any of them. I mean, the blur is an improvement. I don't agree with Paul on the Starscream thing. The mold is fine, the modern Siege mold or whatever, but it's not that Galaxy Force mold. So, I can take it or leave it. I'm glad that there's hype behind it, because we need more weird lines like this, because the more weird lines we get, the more weird lines we're going to get.
My only question is are these filling slots that would otherwise be filled by something else weird, like an unreleased G2 prototype kind of thing, like that we got Sandstorm and whatnot? Like, is this filling, one of those types of slots? I'm curious if like we're not getting those because like could I have gotten a Watermelon Mirage otherwise?
Unreleased G2 stuff. What are we talking about? I don't know. I would like to think that the things that they have in their Toy Fair catalogs from the mid '90s that didn't see actual release are going to be released eventually, in some form or fashion. They're just trying to have a cohesive sideline right now.
And this seems to be something to kind of spark the comic book as well, to get something going with that. Remember with the chugs where they used to come with the comic books. So a lot of cross marketing with that. And, I'm assuming IDW is probably hungering for some cross promotion.
So one thing with that is that I would actually enjoy having a cohesive comic book versus what they did with the old, Thrilling 30 chugs and whatnot, where it just kind of came with a random comic book, because it's like why do I want that? I mean, I guess it was neat because then you read a couple issues of that and you're like, oh, I should, buy all the comic books and whatnot. But, I don't know. Like, I think it's interesting to do its own,
Well, it started where they were the character spotlight issues, and then they sort of ran out of character spotlight issues that they were doing toys of. So then it became just the random issue of the comics. I did enjoy a lot of the artwork on that. Clayton Crane was the artist who did some of those early run covers, and he's a pretty darn awesome comic book artist. That did some great work on that on those covers. That's sort of the packaging artwork too. Later on, as we got into like Skywarp and stuff, I didn't enjoy the artwork as much. But again, I think from IDW's point of view, it's just like, hey, we've got this business partnership. Can you give us kind of something, Hasbro, to push us? Is if you help us, we all sell better, kind of deal.
I forgot about the comic. Like, this was a big deal if they made a cohesive 5-issue comic to go with it. I mean, it's at least as big of a deal as the crossovers, I guess, right? That's kind of what place this sort of takes.
Well, I mean, I think it's neat that they're doing some different comics too. And I don't know, did you see that new Grimlock comic book coming out as well? Like, that looks really cool. No, Peter. What? Peter, you don't like? I mean, like the Transformers '84 was.
Transformers '84 was fantastic because I love me some Furman, and I love when Furman does what Furman does best, which is slot new stories into existing stories. He really shines in being able to fit in between the scenes. It's really nice stuff. And the art by Guido was fantastic, just gorgeous. But the new IDW universe with its political intrigue that you can see coming from 3 miles away is not fun for me. And Grimlock being stuck in Fantasyland is not. I'm not anticipating it going to be much fun. The art can be pretty, and I'll keep buying it. I'll buy all the variant covers and I'll buy whatever because I got an addiction and I got a problem, but I'm not excited about it.
Yeah.
It's at least different than what they've done before over and over again with Transformers. So even though they have done Transformers in medieval times multiple times before, but this time it's a whole miniseries. But it's not the same. Optimus and Megatron were friends and now they're enemies.
But we had Cliffjumper and Elfland about a decade ago. Isn't that? This is going to be Grimlock in D&D world. I don't know.
It's going to be the next Planet Hulk.
I would take Planet Hulk.
What if he ends up in that planet with the giant aliens where the Transformers are toys again?
With Aaron?
Yeah, Aaron. Yeah.
Child's Play.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What if it went that wacky? Would that be cool? Might not be cool, but it would be better.
If a comic book embraced the silliness of some of the episodes, especially of season 2 of the cartoon, I would be all for that. Just go bonkers with it, like how do you say his name? Shioli, the G.I. Joe versus Transformers from a few years ago. That thing was batshit, and it was fun.
That was amazing.
Yeah, the art was great. The story was completely freaking bonkers, and I loved it.
Yeah, just when Earth turns into the planet Transformer with Africa as its heart, Italy as its boot, America was the shield, like the different continents made up and chunks of land, which moved not according to scale, because suddenly Italy was larger than Africa. Like that, just that comic was amazing. And the one thing I still haven't picked up, and I forgot it existed, was the comic book adaptation of the movie that they did a comic book. If they had made a movie of the comic book, this would then be the comic book adaptation of that movie, which in itself is just like so outlandish, but unbelievably awesome. Thank you for reminding me of that book, Peter. That was an awesome book that I had forgotten about.
Revisit it. It's worth the reread. Yeah.
I've read some of the wiki on it, and it reads like a fever dream.
Oh, the whole comic book is. But there's amazing visuals to it. Like at one point, Megatron defeats Grimlock and basically affixes Grimlock's head to his gun. So like whenever, or his hand. So like, instead of just Megatron with a big cannon, which is not badass enough, he's got a Tyrannosaurus Rex hand, both, again, showing his dominance over Grimlock and a nod to Beast Wars. So, yeah.
So I do want to mention book club. If you do want to talk comics, that's the place to go on the TF Talk Discord. So they are covering Combiner Wars Opening Salvo, which is RAD 39, and then Windblade Volume 2 Issue 1, and Part 2 is RAD 40. So they'll be covering those few. So that's going to be Sunday night at 9:30 Eastern, 8:30 Central at the TF Talk Discord.
So I guess the show's wrapping up, because that's usually what the call out to book club.
Well,
sort of
I was
entails.
just going to mention it because Zaldron put it in the chat. But Paul, if you want to go for an extra 30 minutes or whatever, then
let's go for 40.
We can just keep going. So I mean, we haven't discussed the all the various leaks and whatnot too. So
Well, what about did anyone mention the movie re-release?
Yeah.
See, when you
Okay.
were frozen, we
Yeah,
talked
you
about
missed.
that a lot. Yeah.
I bought that today.
Yeah.
So.
I'm excited. Like, I always like to get a new copy of the movie. So
Yeah, I hope it looks really good. Like, it should be the best version ever, right? Should be.
Paul, you and I have talked though, just like the watching the old VHS version so many times that with the audio screw ups, that's just like that feels like the way it's supposed to be. And when like Unicron is crunching on the planet and it doesn't have that sound screw up, yeah, your brain's like, no, where did it go?
Your brain wants to hear it, and then you don't. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
So Paul, is that going to be
true
your
brain
project?
damage.
Is that going to be your project that you're going to have to like edit in those screw ups into the 4K?
That's what I'm excited about. Is that I did not. I started doing it. So I've done it 3 times now. I did it from the DVD rip, the 20th anniversary one or the 10th, whichever one, and then they came out with a Blu-ray, and I was like, oh, this is way better, way easier to do, because like there's some scenes where it's the drawings are there, the details there, but it's so compressed that it just becomes like a blob, like you're recoloring a blob, and it doesn't quite work. Like, for instance, when the Cassetticons are attacking Autobot City, there's like Rumble, Frumble is up close. There's also another one behind him. The one behind him kind of looks like a smear on like the DVD. So then I was like, oh, I'll do this in HD. And now there's Super HD 4K. So I'm glad I didn't do all my work. Now I can finally, I feel like I'm safe to complete my effort.
Until it comes out with 8K.
Well, there's a point where it gets, there's no better resolution of the film. I don't know. I'm pretty sure it's 4K.
I'm going to hold out to the VR version.
The VR version?
I'm just, like, what's the next step? What's the next thing that we're going to get? It's like, I don't know. I'm making a joke at this point.
I mean, that would be, someday it would be cool. But that would require, like, basically recreating the entire film. In 3D.
There'll be supercomputers that can do that.
Maybe. I believe it.
There's going to be that, like, 25-year window where the supercomputers make everything awesome for us before they take over. It'll be a good time.
Sorry, did you ask me? My wife came down. I missed whatever.
No, I just made a joke, and then I think that was Lucas's cat that made a noise, and it was just a weird, awkward moment in general.
Yeah. We got a new cast member here. Just randomly walks in and.
Do you have a cat that's named after a Transformer, Lucas?
No, I don't.
Okay.
So sorry.
I don't have a cat that's named after a Transformer, but my one of my cats is named after the guy who voiced a Transformer, my cat's name is Orson. Well, his name is Orson Orwell, so named after two different dudes that I'm fond of. But yeah, Orson.
That's cool.
And we know Shane has like all of his cats are named Rumble, Ravage, Frenzy, Rampage, Rat Bat, Hot Carl, whatever.
He had to buy more cats when they released the dinosaur cassette tapes finally in the main line.
Come here, Noizu.
So yeah, there's a lot of stuff that has been, say, more than just heavily rumored, near confirmed that we've been hearing about too, and Stunticons that may or may not combine, Swoop that may or may not happen, Legacy being the next thing after this trilogy that we're doing is done. So
And we're still waiting on Golden Disc Edition of everybody, I think.
Oh gosh, yeah. So yeah, there's a lot in the proverbial pipeline, and Paul, to your point, some of that stuff doesn't always happen the way they plan it.
I think the Golden Disc stuff is going to be like the Galactic Odyssey, So, because it seems to me like it's all the listings have come from Amazon in other countries, so it seems like it's an Amazon thing. And the question is, to me, is the Galactic Odyssey stuff didn't have product numbers like the WFC E stuff, which means it's like a mainline thing. It didn't have that, but like the other exclusives did, like the Coneheads did, the Prowl and Ironhide did. Like those are part of that mainline collection, but Galactic Odyssey is outside of it. And I wonder if this Golden Disc stuff is the Kingdom equivalent of that. Because
that makes sense.
This a Battle Across Time collection, I don't know if that means there's more things in the Battle Across Time collection, or if WFCK 40 or whatever number it was is the Battle Across Time collection. I don't know. That remains to be seen. But there were wings on the artwork of that box for somebody. So I think they're doing more.
Was it? I apologize. Was it bird wings or reptile wings?
Bird. It looked to me like the Air Razor.
Okay.
Wings. You can. See, I mean, if you just look at the artwork.
She needs a redeco. She's wrong. I won't open her because she's wrong. So she can just boop.
What's wrong about her?
I won't open her because Target keeps pushing back my pre-order.
I saw her at Target today. Not this one, a different one. Left her for whoever. Yeah, but I don't know. She doesn't look quite right. I have a feeling that they, just like the Netflix Cheetor, they put out the not quite right Cheetor first, and then they put out this one, which is not quite right, but better. So then when they do the Maximal 5-pack or the Axelon 5-pack or whatever they decide to do for SDCC, that'll be the perfect one. But that's just cynicism talking and experience.
Well, you also have the Takara Premium Deca line now too, so it could always
fuck that line. Fuck it.
Well, it's not even Takara. It's not even Takara. It's not even a Takara exclusive thing.
Is it not?
No, you can buy them on fucking Hasbro Pulse.
Yeah, they're on Pulse.
They're on Pulse.
Everywhere else.
They're double retail price for the original molds, original version, and now I get premium Scuffy Siege Prime. What the hell is that?
Green windows.
Woo! I mean, come on.
You got the green windows now, Peter.
Green windows and premium scuff paint. Yes,
but
that's what we've been clamoring.
His own line. It's the PF line.
PF line.
Yeah.
I'm sure that makes Peter happy, Phil. But it does make me happy.
Right.
Maybe they'll get a PC line. after this.
I mean, the PF line, you know, it's overpriced crap. So there you go. So.
Oh. How dare you call me overpriced?
I wasn't going to take it that far. Goodness.
Oh.
So lots of cool reveals. Yay.
And I mean, the leak stuff, I'd say, it's so weird. Like, and I think we've talked about this before, and we were kind of alluding to this earlier tonight, just the I mean, not the ecosystem or you know, I don't know what you call it, but just the flow of things that you get the excitement when you see the leak, then you get the excitement when you see the toy, and then you get the official product shots, and then you get the pre-order, and then by the time you actually have then you get the reviewers that get the early in-hand ones from overseas, and then by the time you actually get the toy itself, it's like you've moved on to like 3 other things to be excited about. That it's very hard to be like in the moment with a new toy.
Well, like Paul was saying earlier, like you get that 48-hour, like I agree with you, Phil, that you know, you get that hype, and it's a cycle of hype, but by the time the toy actually lands, you know, like, oh, I found what's his name over at wherever I found him, cool. I'm already hyped on the next thing and the thing after that, and 26 other things that have already been revealed, leaked, dropped, found, discovered, whatever. Yeah, so my brain is already overloaded, and Hasbro knows it, so that's why they keep doing these fan floopity doodle get my wallet things.
Yep.
I think that's one of the things I'm really disappointed about the Buzzworthy line, is that like that was something we didn't know about, but it was all just garbage I didn't care about.
Yep.
Like, how great would it be to just like walk into a Target one day and be the person that's just like, what is this? Like, I didn't know about this, and this is awesome. And instead, it's like, what is this? I didn't know about this, and I don't want to know about it. Why does this exist?
That's how I felt when I found Machine Wars in '97. Yeah. I was like, whoa! We're done with beasts. We're done with beasts. We're back to shit. And I thought I was special. I thought I was finding something magical.
There is that magical feeling of just walking into a store and seeing something brand new, and your brain just like having that minor explosion. And it's not saying we'll never have that again, but it's extremely unlikely.
Well, I mean, if you didn't go to transformernews.com multiple times a day and you went to the store like once a month, you would get that feeling every time you went to the goddamn store, Phil.
Paul, my work is boring. My work is not that enthralling where I don't feel the need to stroll through the internet. I'm
just saying that like it's our own fault that nothing is new and cool. Like we're like in end game content of Transformers, and Hasbro just isn't supplying enough end game content for us.
No, we still need half of 1988. We need almost all of 1989. We need almost all of 1990. And we're not even going to get into the 91, 92, 93 European stuff, because there is your end game content. When we're getting Scorch and Boss and Hurricane and those guys, then I'll agree that we're an end game. And that's only after we've gotten Hosehead and Nightbeat and Ground Shaker.
How many primes are we going to get before that?
Oh, we're going to get one prime with each wave for the next 26 years. But yeah.
Right.
We're going to have another 17 Tetrajet Seekers.
Yep. And the thing is like I'm probably gonna buy it because I'm gonna be like, oh, I kind of like this on the deco, and so...
Well, I mean, if you don't buy it, then they're not going to make the next thing. They're not going to do the next subline if you don't buy everything from this subline. They're not going to do Hosehead if you don't buy Sandstorm, the Seeker dude. They're not going to buy. It's brain damage. All of it's brain damage. And they know it.
Balls, the flamethrower.
Yeah, and that was the 1986 lunchbox. Spaceballs the lunchbox is the 1986 Metroplex lunchbox.
Oh my god!
God, they should just make. They should just take Artfire and paint him black or something and just call them Spaceballs, and have a little fire attachment that comes on the end of the hose or something.
And we'd buy it. And we'd buy it. Be like, check out Spaceballs, Spaceballs. Yay!
Spaceballs.
I mean, if they could do a Spaceballs crossover toy, Like, I would just lose my shit.
They could just call him Flamethrower. And I think that works. Yeah, it works.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, okay, you said you're painting him black. Black in German is Schwarz.
Oh.
So there you go.
Schwarz be with you.
Done. Done. We just...
I took a bunch of German in high school and I never put that together until now.
See, and this is the thing, you know, we had a crossover show where we talked about, like, what crossovers we liked, and somehow we didn't land on Spaceballs. So there we go. This is why we need to have this, like, you know, an hour and a half into the show that we can start talking, like, you know, random crossovers we'd like to see.
You know what else I'd like to see in this Shattered Glass line is this dude. This Cyclonus in the hot rod colors. That would be.
I would go for that.
Yeah,
sure.
That was one of my favorites.
Soundwave.
Yeah, with the headband.
Yep.
See, Paul, you're getting into the realm of Shattered Glass that I start to really dislike, and they were doing that with the later runs where it's just like it worked for Starscream and Jetfire, and then they kept repeating that we're going to take this character's good guy counterpart and bad guy counterpart and just do a color swap. Like, I don't know where these pictures came out from recently, but there was like artwork, like not like these are toys coming out, but something from a comic book or just a bio of Shattered Glass Abominus and Shattered Glass Computron, and all
that
it was just
Club.
Okay, yeah. So there was just like taking the artwork of the colors of the two character combiners and swapping them. And that to me is kind of boring.
But I like the stairs. I like those.
That's fine. It's my opinion that it's boring. You don't have to share it. Just know that you're wrong. No, I liked, you know, Shattered Glass Blur is not someone else's colors. It's an evil looking blur and it works. You know, Shattered Glass Optimus Prime is not Megatron's colors. I think it worked really well for Starscream and Jetfire because of the relationship those two characters had and you know, since G1. But then when they kept doing it, it got to be a little bit just sort of meh. Yeah.
Shattered Glass in general for me, when they just decided to keep doing it and they didn't seem to have a plan, it just went, I was like, okay, we're good here.
Yeah.
Well, they started to realize, like, hey, there's 300 characters we still have to make Shattered Glass versions for, you know, and so they did that. I like some of those just color swaps because it, like, hurts your brain for a second when you look at them, especially like those Abominus and Computron. I think it made sense, but it was just so inconsistent. Like, whoever, like, either they should have all been like that or they should have all been just unique, you know, but if they did all sorts of shit.
If we're going to wish list on funny colors that I want to see done, I want a Killing Jar Wreck-Gar Cyclonus Magnus pack with a Sharkticon or an Alicon. Was it an Alicon? It was an Alicon. Yeah. And a Quintesson. Just do it up. Just do it up. Make Negative Universe those guys.
Yeah, that's the one, like, color of Magnus and Cyclonus I can't believe we've never gotten.
In anything. Yeah.
Because it was so crazy in the episode. As a kid, I was like, oh, man, I want that yellow Cyclonus. Oh, yeah. Nope. No, you will not.
I feel like that episode, there was an episode of G.I. Joe that was like a two-parter with Shipwreck. That was a...
There's No Place Like Springfield parts 1 and 2, the last 2 episodes of season 1.
Yeah. Those 2 episodes and the Transformers episode you guys are referencing, the Killing Jar, just like my 6-7-year-old brain was like, I don't know what's going on and I don't think I like it.
I was horrified by There's No Place Like Springfield part 1. The first one was just like, what the, whoa, everyone slow down.
They're melting now?
They're just killing people now. They're just melting. Yeah.
Yeah. And the Killing Jar is in a similar vein of just like, what did they think our kid brains could handle? Because this is not it.
it felt like Endgame stuff. Like this. I mean, it's going to be on tomorrow, but like I don't know I don't know how they're going to get out of this.
Yeah.
They went into a black hole.
Meanwhile, every episode of Adventure Time is that whole kind of thing.
Yeah, I finally found a screen cap of that, and yeah, those color schemes need to happen. They're some of the wildest color schemes of all time for Transformers stuff. Please do.
Please.
I mean, we'll buy it no matter what. So
these are the molds that need to be recolored 400 times and have premium deco and whatever. These are the ones. Beat them to death, please. Beat me to death with them. I will die happy.
I will say Ultra Magnus is maybe not one that needs to be recolored a bunch of times.
It was okay.
Yeah, it's not bad. I'm just saying we've already gotten that quite a few times.
Give me Delta using the Kingdom mold, and I'll be pretty happy.
Yeah, I would agree. I'm surprised we haven't seen that yet.
Give it time. We haven't. I'm just starting to see rumors with other toy lines of quote unquote convention exclusives, and those sorts of things should be rolling out in terms of announcements in the next coming months.
There is one more SG leak that hasn't been mentioned, and that was the Commander Jetfire. We're supposed to be getting that.
I don't know if I'd heard that.
Beware.
I don't want it.
Yeah, I don't know if I want to spend the money on that. You know, like I don't know. It's a lot of money.
Well, and there isn't really a Shattered Glass Jetfire like to base it off of, so it might be kind of like the Ratchet where they just do whatever. My assumption is they'll just paint it black like the Henke black Skyfire.
Ratchet was based on. There was a piece of art. It was like a single pane in the Club magazine, if I remember correctly. They mentioned him a couple times, but he showed up before the toy came out. Before this toy came out.
I think it's pretty different than what this toy is.
The toy was based on Energon, whatever, Energon Inferno, I want to say. The original toy, or the original look for him. I could be way off. I might be misremembering.
Yeah, I mean, I do agree with Ron. The Jetfire mold was really good, so I don't know. I'm just not sure that I need another one. Is all I'm saying. So
I don't want to spend $70 on a Shattered Glass thing that I'm not going to open.
right.
Yeah.
If they're going to do anything, they need to. I don't know. I lost my train of thought.
Yep. Well, look out for that.
$80 on a repaint is a fairly tough pill to swallow.
But it's been done probably at this point hundreds of times before.
Yeah.
Considering all the movie stuff.
Yeah.
So, well, do we have anything else we want to cover before we wrap up tonight?
Keep doing FanFest Friday, Hasbro. I'm digging it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've even the Power Rangers one. I went back and watched that and had to like Google Power Rangers Wikipedia, like who is this dude with this black suit and that random black, Power Ranger helmet? He's cool. It's like, oh, it's a guy like so there you've got a point of they are doing a Power Ranger toy of a single episode reference for a Power Ranger. So Hasbro is doing that. Hasbro is definitely doing that for other toy lines. And we've seen it with Transformers and hopefully we see it with a few more.
Well,
yes.
Thank you guys for being on tonight, and thanks to everyone in the chat. Zaldron, Catherine, Jay Holla, Ron, Enots. Who am I missing? I know there was some other people earlier. Jazzmeister earlier. and God Ravage. So, yeah. So thank you everyone for joining us tonight. And microcasters, we're gonna do a special microcasters this week. Rob's gonna be on, so we're gonna do a little MMC goodness, and then I think Anna's gonna be showing off something as well. So just stay tuned for that. I'm not really sure. I don't know. She's been getting in boxes of things and has been excited about them, so she wants to show them off. And since we don't have the oof ouch my wallet lately to show it off in, so I said, oh well, we'll show it off this week since Christian's on vacation. So
I didn't know we got vacation days at tftalk.net.
Yeah, no, I know. Well, and last week we had to do that too because Anna and I were both kind of busy getting ready for vacation stuff ourselves. So I apologize for not prioritizing the podcast. So I apologize, guys.
You only get vacation days if you're on more than one show a week. So, Paul, you're no longer on more than one show a week. So
I
Rick
just wonder,
sometimes
like,
gets vacation. Lucas is eligible. Christian, Anna, not me, not you, not Phil, not Nick. But Nick skips out anyway.
You're saying they don't accrue?
You had use or lose last year, man. It's all gone. You failed.
Man.
Yeah.
No one told me.
And by the way, for those people who do know Nick, he's got some cool stuff going on.
Yeah.
He does. And it's his anniversary today, so happy anniversary to Nick and Tiff.
Oh yeah. So, well, he's officially announced it too about the comic shop, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's St. Mark's Comics is restarting in New York. So
In Brooklyn, yep.
in Brooklyn,
Brooklyn, sup?
So that should be pretty exciting there.
Real good news.
Yep, congrats.
So, yeah. So, all right. Well, thanks, guys, and we will see you next week.
Have a good one.